Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Topoco Lodge. Great dining at the Topoco Lodge and on the patio right by the rushing Chiowa River. Rooms, suites, even private cabins for a relaxing evening. Fire pits and craft beers under the fall foliage with the sound of the river. You cannot beat it. Topoco.com to learn more. Get up there, check it out. You will be as impressed as I was when I first drove up there and saw it. And the whole new area that they've got with the fire pits is just fantastic. The Topoco Lodge. All right, let's take a look at the schedule. Now, these are just the highlights. I almost didn't have room for all the highlights. This is a hard schedule, folks. Murray State is on this thing, and I know people are going, Murray State. They were 28-5 last year, won the OVC tournament, and made it to the NCAA tournament because of it. Washington, that's a neutral site game in Toronto. Florida State, and then in the second round you'll play Purdue or VCU in a new tournament down, I think it's just outside of Destin. Memphis, who's supposed to be top 10 this year, and you already have a little fire there going with Penny Hardaway and Rick Barnes. At Cincinnati, never an easy place to play. Wisconsin, always a good team. At Kansas, now they're having some off-court issues, but I'm guessing they'll be pretty good on the court. And then your home and homes this year in the SEC, Arkansas, South Carolina, Vandy, Kentucky, and old friend Bruce Pearl coming off a Final Four. Mark Pankratz, that is a terrific schedule. I mean, I applaud Tennessee for putting Rick Barnes and crew. That is fantastic. You talk about getting your money's worth as a fan. I wish the football team scheduled like that. It's great. Trouble is, it's kind of a rebuilding year, you think, on paper. What do you think of that schedule? What are your thoughts in general?
First, I would define terrific, because as a coach, I'm looking at that as like, gosh, we got to find some wins because, man, it is low. Having done the schedule before, I like the Murray State because to a fan, you're thinking, man, that's a great game. John Morant was a top 5 NBA player, is going to be up for potential Rookie of the Year type, and he's gone. But people know that name, so it's
still
good.
Going to be a good. They're always a good.
They're
team.
always good. They're always good. But
in terms of your B level, point is, that's not North Carolina Greensboro.
Correct.
That's a team that traditionally has some clout.
Oh yeah, I mean I think, and it's going to be hard coming off of a football team that, depending on the season, and probably won't have a great schedule. The people are really going to be looking towards this basketball season. We were number 1 in the country last year. Gosh, if we make the NCAA tournament, I think we will, but I think we're going to kind of just get in. That means you're going to lose some games. You know, it's not like football where you have a really good season. You can only lose 2 games. In basketball, you can have a really good season and lose 10 games, 12 games, and that could be what this season ends up being, where you're going to make the NCAA tournament because of a strength of schedule, but you end up losing 10, 11, 12 games, and fans got to stay the ship and be all right with it.
Yeah, good luck with that. With that schedule, though, 17 and 12 could probably get you into the tournament if those teams turn out to be what they usually are. So when he's talking about 10 losses, I've seen 17 and 12 teams get it, 18 and 12. It's certainly possible when you line up a schedule like that because the committee likes to reward, typically, they like to reward teams that do that. What is your expectation, though, for the tournament? All right, is this a bubble team? Is this a team that's definitely in? I'm hearing people saying, well, they'll be in. I'm not going there yet. I think it's a bubble team. There are too many unanswered questions.
Yeah, I think it's a bubble team. I can't say that they're definitely going to be in now. You look at the strength of the SEC, obviously that schedule. I mean, who's going to be our backup point guard? And our point guard right now is Lamonte Turner, who's not a true point guard. Yeah. Can we knock down shots? I'm giving Barnes the benefit of the doubt because if you look how guys have gotten better at shooting the ball from a perimeter standpoint, they've done it. And so I think we'll improve, but I think we'll be borderline.
This weekend, big recruiting weekend for Tennessee. They've got visitors on campus. Don't know what the crowd is going to be like for Tennessee, Georgia. There's talk of Georgia fans trying to take over Neyland Stadium. If Tennessee fans don't show up for UT Georgia, and there's a lot of red and black in there, as someone who's brought recruits into this town, how much does that hurt the visit? Or does it?
It absolutely can hurt it. I mean, I've sat in the recruiting seats right behind Crompton's parents when parents were sitting there and they would hear what fans were yelling about their son, and the mom could not even get up from her chair because she didn't want to watch what would happen the way her son played. And that, when you're sitting with recruits and their parents and they're hearing that from your own fan base, it impacts it. And especially if a kid, I mean, imagine if a kid goes to a Georgia-Notre Dame football game 2 weekends ago and then comes to Georgia-Tennessee here. 30-40% Georgia fans, it affects it. And so we need our fans to be out there supporting, and it does impact basketball recruiting.
All right, Mark Pankratz, thanks for dropping by. We will, if October goes the way I fear it could go for the football team, we'll be having you back to talk a lot more basketball. 90 minutes, we can do it now. Thank you, Mark Pankratz. When we come back, we're talking more football. In fact, let me look at before I jump ahead, let me actually make sure I'm about to say the right thing. What do the Vols do next at the quarterback position? That's what we're talking about next. Come on back on the Sports Source.